Hello, friends. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And we are here with the ASOC Prod Cat and the Peanut Gallery. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Moo.
Bye.
Knock, knock.
Mule.
Oh, God.
Be true.
Ram you. And then you do that, 8 times, 10 times, and they explode.
Yep.
I'm watching as the delayed reaction of just face palming over this goes through.
All right. Today's pre-rolls brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, on the downtown mall, 105 West Main Street, above the Brick, Suite 200, between the Green Cauldron and Hamilton's. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds. A bud, and the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my biased research. Don't forget to check the website for times and events. The website is thehiddenleafcville.com. That's The Hidden Leaf, CVILLE, all one word, .com. A note of disclosure, we're covering some political stuff because NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me is kind of political. I won't say it's exactly left-oriented, but these days, any nonpartisan look at the news is going to appear left-leaning. So, with that said, any political opinions you hear expressed herein belong to the expressor of the opinion, ourselves, and or the label and the and our parent company. They do not necessarily belong to any of our sponsors, including but not limited to The Hidden Leaf, as well as the Kush Gang, purveyor of fine edibles and drinkables, and Firehouse Craft Farm. These guys. So yeah, that is who is providing the pre-rolls. Man, I did that almost perfectly.
Yes, you did.
You know what the secret is? I finished
Holding
smoking.
Your breath and spinning backwards 7 times?
No, I finished a pre-roll right before we went live.
Okay.
I made sure I was already high when I started.
Okay.
That is.
When you said hi, it wasn't a greeting; it was a reminder.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, it's either that or a question. Hi? How? Hi are ya?
Okay.
No, I know you two are, you two get high on life.
Some days.
It was an okay game.
That's right. There is a game. You did play that one.
I probably shouldn't have been smoking the little plastic pegs behind the university. But yeah,
No.
That's getting high on life.
There's a video game.
Oh.
There's a video game called High on Life.
Oh.
He's played it.
Oh. Is it any good?
It's funny. It's by the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So keep in mind the kind of humor it's going to have.
Both the creators or Harmon?
Do not know.
Because Justin Roiland is apparently not a good person.
I think it was created before that bit of info came out.
Okay.
Like that you pick up talks back to you. Everything that you pick up.
All your weapons talk to you.
Insult you. All of your weapons insult you.
I think that would be great for a D&D campaign. Every magic weapon is sentient, and it's mean to its wielder.
Mean or has a kink.
Ooh.
Some of these weapons were definitely
Hi, Just Me Crystal. Mwah. Great to see you.
provocative in certain ways.
I like that. And not that the sentient weapons are, like, more powerful because they're sentient. Like, they're not, like, trying to take over the intelligence of the wielder or anything like that. It's just that even a +1 sword can talk to its wielder. It just sounds really mean. I like it. Back on the farm, one of the hippies, who was dungeon mastering, had this idea that the bag of holding slowly turned everything alive. So, like, eventually, you could train your rope to do rope tricks. You could train your rope to do things.
Okay.
If you could figure out how to talk to your rope. Or your ladder might be afraid of heights.
I really need to figure out how to make that Xanth campaign work that I want to do.
Right. It would be, oh, God. Xanth is... So...
If you want to have every magical weapon be intelligent, I want to add one little further problem to that.
What's that?
At their magical bonus, ×5 be their base intelligence.
Ooh. Ooh. So they're...
So +1 weapon is kind of dumb, but always talking.
Right. Right. I love that. And they're not always all mean. They all have different personalities. I like that. I like that. I don't know rope language.
No.
I think the way they did that was cleric spell speak with animals. Because once
speak with animals would work.
Yeah, once it's slightly alive, like once it's capable of locomotion, it's kind of an animal. Once it has intelligence,
Or plant.
huh?
Or plant.
Yeah,
Or a plant.
I would go, what is it made out of?
Yeah, okay. Speak with plants or animals. It would be one or the other. I remember, though, the way they got around it, I think, was like snake charming. They treated the rope like a snake.
Okay.
My question is, how bad are you going to feel about spending gold if all of it can feel abandoned? I mean, think about each piece of gold or silver or copper you're out there spending in the world, and you're giving it an abandonment. You're giving it abandonment issues.
Well, see, the question there would be, how long have you had this point, if this is something that you've been steadily saving up for ages, then yes, I could see there being an abandonment issue. If
Right.
this is something that you get paid weekly and you're spending it just as fast, then
Then it
this is
doesn't have time to even become alive. Remember, it's that these things slowly become alive. So yeah.
well, it might have become alive at some point, but at this point, it is enjoying the trip. It gets to see so many new places and hear and experience so
Right.
many new things.
And it hasn't
It
grown
doesn't
attached to you through
through any means,
Stockholm
really.
syndrome.
Yes.
Actually, I would think of coins working more like a hive mind or collective.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
saw, oh my God, I saw one of the most disturbing ideas. Mimic babies.
yes.
Mimic babies are the gold coins in the chest. So instead of
Watch,
eating you, the mimic lets you take the gold coins, the treasure, and spread its babies throughout the world.
Yes.
watch the anime Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh, is that in there? Is that idea in there?
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh boy, I like it. Well, all right.
Besides,
What?
if everything becomes intelligent, let's say someone is going to do this as some variety of show. If everything becomes intelligent, they need to get in contact with you to voice the hemp rope.
Yeah. I could do that. Dude, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to tie up? I got you. Huh? What? Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Tie up. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it right now, bro. I like this. I like this idea. Anyway, we should get on with the show so that we can get through it.
Everybody got their piece of paper?
Yep.
Pardon me.
Wish I could.
All right, everybody clicked on everything.
Absolutely not.
All
We'll
right,
find out shortly.
we will. We will.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from the Southern Environmental Law Center. Everyone wants to breathe
Can
clean
you hear
air
that?
and drink clean water. That's why SELC is fighting to defend the healthy environment everyone depends on.
I'm the voice so creamy, you better take some lactate. Bill Curtis is the name, and here is your host at the Studebaker Theater at the Fine Arts Building in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. It's great to be back with you. We do have a great show for you today. Later on, we're going to be joined by champion fencer Ibtihaj Mohammad, who was a pioneer in multiple ways, the first Muslim American woman to win an Olympic medal, the first black woman to win an Olympic medal in saber fencing, and the first celebrity guest, I have insisted, come to our show unarmed. But I'm not afraid of you, so give us a call to play our game on the air. The number is 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Now let's welcome our first listener contestant. Hi, you're on.
So, real quick, saber is my favorite type of fencing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Saber is what
2x4 for me.
Huh?
2x4 for me.
Yeah, that's what you play baseball with.
Yeah. You use
Sorry.
1x material for fencing. You use 1x and 4x4 or 8x8. I suppose you could use 2x, but it wouldn't be 2x4. It'd be 2x6 or 2x10. Or 2x8 or 2x10.
Honestly, at 2x10, wouldn't that be decking?
Derailed.
2x6, 2x8, and 2x10 are all decking. And no, decking is 1x. And decking is true 1x. It's 5/4. It's not 1x, which is 3/4. Nominal sizes. Jesus. I get nominal sizes when you're dealing with bricks. Because what that does is allows for the mortar joint in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why nominal sizes exist when you're working with wood. It's because it started out rough hewn as a 2-inch or 1 inch, but when it's planed down to size, it loses what is it? 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I
But my
believe.
question is how Sauron got between all those bricks. They're held together by Mordor.
Sauron isn't in between them. Sauron's minions are in between them. Goblins are really small. Turns out they're like tiny.
According to the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, goblins and orcs are pretty much the same thing. They're both degenerated elves.
Yeah, goblins are still smaller than orcs.
Because they live underground.
I believe so. Although orcs aren't necessarily above ground either, are they? Also, okay, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, aren't Lord of the Rings orcs Urukai? Weren't
No,
they?
the Uruk-hai were specifically the orcs around.
Okay. But then orcs are made the same way as Urukai. Or are Urukai made separately, differently from orcs?
The Uruk-hai were basically a specific tribe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
Orcs were all over Mordor, but the Uruk-hai were specifically the ones working for Saruman.
Then orcs are definitely bigger than goblins.
I don't know. Did you see the Goblin King?
Yeah, but that's only the Goblin King. The Goblin King was only ever... And I think it was because he was the biggest goblin. Also, it is entirely possible that the difference between goblins and orcs is who lives above ground and who lives below ground.
So what was that about saber fencing?
I don't know. What was it about saber fencing? You know, you guys got us here. I just followed your lead. Saber fencing is my favorite. I find saber fencing to be the one that most fits with the way my body likes to move.
You're on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, Peter. It's Andrew from beautiful British Columbia, Vancouver.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hi, Andrew.
Oh, wow.
Got that right.
Now, normally, wouldn't one say Vancouver, British Columbia, or is that like a weird Canadian
Chris,
thing
into
you guys do?
386.
You say the province first.
No, I just got nervous. I'm assuming we can edit that.
All right. What do you do in that beautiful place?
Well, I have 2 kids, one of which we're trying to potty train right now. So in my spare time, I work in healthcare here locally.
Can I ask a question? Because I've recently been through this. What do you use, if anything, as a reward for successfully using the potty?
We tried stickers. High fives seem to work really well. I'm just going for enthusiasm at this point.
Yes, I applaud you for touching their hands. That's great. Andrew, it's great to have you on our show. Let me introduce you to our panel this week. First up, a comedian headlining The Plus in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, August 16th and 17th, and The Hereafter in Seattle, September 5th through the 7th. It's Hari Kondabolu.
Hi, Ari.
Hello. Next, you know her from the hit TikTok show Boy Room. It's Rachel Koster.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. And making his debut on our panel, if not on our show, a comedian and actor you know from Somebody Somewhere on HBO. His new book is called Actress of a Certain Age. It's Jeff Hiller.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to the show, Andrew. You're going to play Who's Bill this time. Bill Curtis is going to perform for you 3 quotations from this week's news. Your job, simply identify or explain 2 of them. You will win our prize, any voice from our show you might choose in your voicemail. Are you ready to go?
As I'll ever be.
Okay, here we go. Your first quote is from an agitated resident of Venice, Italy this week.
We can't miss a chance to disrupt a $10 million wedding.
What billionaire's multi-million-dollar wedding is making everyone in Venice
Bezos?
mad?
Oh, wow. I have no
Is that
idea.
what
Can I
you
get
said?
a hint?
Sure, you can. Well, they considered getting married in the Amazon, but that would be too on the nose.
Yeah, Bezos.
Bezos.
Yes, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, yes. Jeff Bezos' longtime girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez,
Good on you
is
for
finally
knowing
going to make
that
an
one.
honest man out of him. You know, it's really kind of hard for me to joke about this because I just love. The very big wedding is scheduled for next week in Venice, and people there are furious that he is using their ancient city as an event venue. Bezos, though, has convinced Ms. Sanchez that every single word the crowds are shouting at them is just Italian for Mazel Tov. It's really going to be great when the minister at the wedding says, if anybody has any reasons why this couple should not be wed, please join the mob outside.
3 days. The wedding's going for 3 days.
Yes.
What are they, Indian? This is ridiculous.
What'd you say?
I bet he remembers a prenuptial this time.
Right? You know, it's my opinion that most people really shouldn't need a prenup. If you're getting married because you, actually like the person. I mean, I'm not saying you have to marry for love, but at least marry for like. So that if the marriage comes to an end, because relationships do that, divorce is not a moral failing, then you can have a good divorce and be able to agree about who gets what, instead of having to fight about it. But that's just my opinion about getting married. On the other hand, I feel highly qualified to have this opinion because that's how my divorce went. We were friendly about it and it was not acrimonious. I didn't need a prenup.
Well, there wasn't room in his heart for anything but his money, so.
Yeah.
True. Oh, I do want to say I do actually love my ex-wife. When we were married, I loved her. I still love her. I loved her before. There has never been a lack of love in that relationship. From either direction, even. Just, not every relationship lasts forever.
This
All
is
right.
true.
Relationship counseling portion done.
And we all paid for this.
We did.
We all
Yes.
paid 1 16 pack of Charmin at a time.
Exactly. You're right.
Yep.
This is why your fee for Prime went up $5 so he could afford the extra canapes.
I can't believe he's getting married.
3
I thought he was
days.
anti-union.
Nice.
Well played. Well played.
Seems like a total.
Wow.
The Venetians are, up in oars about this, and there wasn't an appropriate place to put that joke earlier in the segment, so I strategically put it here, hoping it could be edited in later.
All right. Here is your next quote.
We'll deliver long-distance calling and all-American service.
That was the Trump Organization. Yes, announcing their brand new $500 gold-colored what?
Cell phone?
Yes, their new phone, the Trump phone. Trump is now selling a phone and wireless service. The phone will be $500 and painted gold. Tech watchers who are trying to piece together the specs on it say the battery life won't be great, but that's the price you pay for being an early adopter of the first ever phone that runs on coal. Being a Trump phone, it will come with unlimited texting as part of the plan, and it will have the first ever keyboard to not have any lowercase letters.
It's just so gaudy. My God. I mean, also, I would never, but still, like.
I would have to say the aesthetics do appeal to me. I think it's extremely fancy. Gold does make my teeth look whiter and my smile brighter.
I fell for the steaks. I fell for the college. I fell for the ties.
The teddy bear toy bank.
Yeah, I have so much Trump crypto corn, but I'm not getting the phone. Fool me once, then you can do it 3 more times. But that's it.
That's it. All right, here is your last quote. It's about apparently what is the hot new thing that young people are doing this summer.
Get your highlighters ready.
That's a headline in The Cut about how this summer people are lining up not for concerts or comedy or sporting events, but for what?
Reading?
Reading, yes, to study. They're going to lectures. People are flocking to bars in cities around the country to listen to lectures.
I mean, this makes sense. Now that video essayist is a valid job, it makes sense that people would be doing more people would be doing more education.
I'm just sitting here going, didn't we go through this period of history back in like the 1860s?
Maybe, but I don't know. I think it's fine to continue to go back to education as a cultural identifier. As sort of a not a cultural identifier, but a social activity.
Now, question: does that mean that Starbucks can apply to get education vouchers now?
God, I hope not.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep. Just by the tone of voice, that hurt people.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Ouch.
Oh.
I mean, I put it right up there with the Trump phone. I mean, all these people are complaining about how government overreach and spying on them, yet they're going to buy the government phone.
Right.
No, there's nothing wrong with going back to that, but it's for me it's the reaction of along the lines of some of the archaeologists had back in like 2010, 2012, when more emojis got added to your standard phone, and someone looking at various text messages where it was just like all emojis, they're like, great, teenage girls have brought us back to Egyptian times now.
Oh, yeah. Well, except that's fine because communication has many forms.
Yeah, it's not a wrong thing. It's noting. Wait, we've already done that. Have we circled back to that already?
I mean, already. I mean, I saw a meme earlier today that said, people, we invented phones and had 100 years of phone calls before we realized that we were so awkward that we'd rather just go back to sending really fast letters.
Yeah. Oh, one of my more recent favorites was someone wishing out loud where older people could hear them. That'd be really cool if everybody that was driving on the road was just able to talk to everybody else at the same time and let them know about hazards that were happening up ahead, and could do it without having to look at their phone screen because you're not supposed to be touching your phone.
Right.
It'd be just really cool to have some other device that you could activate to do this, and everyone else is looking like, that's a CB radio that you want to invent. Yes.
Right.
Either a TV radio or just a radio station with a
traffic feed. Right, like, what is it,
Since they wanted to
1060 or something? 1060 AM. But yeah, it's not everything we invented in the past has been made useless.
Honestly, that saying of everything under the sun is new again applies. There's a lot of things that are invented and we use and we know about
that we then reinvent. Rather like the wheel.
Yep.
We reinvent the wheel every dang time.
Stubborn people.
I guess that's what it means to be human. One of the things that it means to be human is to do the work over and over again, because our lives are so short that we can't really learn generationally without having to do it over and over again.
No, we could learn generationally if we'd actually allow for a decent school system.
We could learn generationally if parents would play active roles in their children's lives.
How dare you?
Right? I'm just saying, like... Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole today.
Fair enough.
We've been down that rabbit hole a bunch recently. We can stay up here for now.
Right.
Let's go ahead and get back to the show.
Okay.
Dressed up, do some Molly, and compare the impact of the Coptic and Assyrian churches in the 4th century? Oh, yes, you would.
Sounds like my kind of party.
I should have.
That is true. You're really speaking to the
I'm
choir.
going to break your hearts. We made that up. That's not happening. I'm sorry. There's one big series in New York called Lectures on Tap. that is expanding across the country. Every time they announce a series, they sell out. It's taking off as a great summer activity because your lecture body is a lot easier to maintain than your beach body.
This is old news. Lectures in bars, that's happened for years. They're called Hari Kondabolu comedy shows. Thanks.
Are you jealous that none of these people who appear and talk in bars have any obligation to be funny?
I have no obligation to be funny.
You do it as charity.
Once I get the check, it's on you.
I think, as someone who is on the brink of 50, that this sounds amazing. And I hope that they start at 3 p.m. and they end by 5 p.m. I hope you still get cool credit for it and you can have like one beer and then just like a water to properly hydrate. And then you go home and you get to bed by 8:30.
Yeah.
You know,
That sounds like a rager to me.
And if you're really hip and you get invited to the after lecture, that's over by 9.
Ooh, that's a crazy night.
Instead of IPAs, are they serving GPAs? Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
As you said, Hari, no obligation to be funny.
I'm here.
Bill, how did Andrew do in our quiz?
2 out of 3, which means he has won.
Congratulations.
Okay, that was good. Hari hit some home runs there.
Yep.
Thank you so much for playing. Good luck with the potty training, and remember, they're going to get it before they go to college. Probably. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Panel, now it is time for you to answer some questions about this week's news. Hari, a new dating service has this amazing innovation. They match people based on their what?
Race.
No.
That's Hinge.
Height.
No.
Blood type?
No.
Peter, I might need a hint.
You might, and I have one
Personality?
for you. And yes, it counts even when you're in incognito mode. Rachel's
Browsing
jaw just
history.
dropped. She can't believe it, but it's true. And they
Your
match
browser history?
Yes,
Oh,
Hari.
these people are sick. They're sick.
You know,
A new service
but-
called Browser Dating uses people's last 5,000 internet searches to find the perfect match for them. Think about the time you will save on a first date when both of you start off knowing in detail exactly what's wrong with each other.
Right.
I have never thought, like, oh man, I'm looking for a woman that loves to read baseballreference.com for hours at a time.
Well-
looking up old statistics.
But wouldn't that be great? I mean, because the idea is
I
that-
want someone who makes me better, Peter. That's not better.
Good answer.
Coming up, do not
What was that?
I said good answer.
Want somebody that makes me better. That's not better.
go to Lollapalooza without listening to our Bluff the Listener game first. It's a matter of safety. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. From
At linkedin.com
All businesses put.com. Investing.
with premium materials NPR.
Backed by a national newsroom that puts it.
Wait, don't tell me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We are playing this week with Hari Kondabolu, Jeff Hiller, and Rachel Koster. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. Right now, it is time for the Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play our game on the air, or check out the pinned post on our Instagram page. That's at WaitWaitNPR. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, this is Cherry Roberts. I'm calling from North Ogden, Utah.
North Ogden,
Cherry.
Utah, a beautiful place. We're actually coming out to Utah at the end of July to do a show in Salt Lake City. We're looking forward to it. What do you do there?
I actually work for Weill Cornell Medicine in New York City remotely. I work in the Office of Faculty Affairs.
Oh, really? So
Wow.
you work in New York City, but you live in Utah. That is a
No.
pretty good deal.
She works in Ithaca.
Carrie, welcome to the show. You're going to play
but
the game
lives
in
in
which you must try to
Utah.
tell truth from fiction. Bill, what is Carrie's topic?
Bonnaroo La Palooza.
Summer music festivals are coming up. That's where you go to hear great new bands and play that classic game, alcohol poisoning or heat stroke. But
Or
our
both.
panelists are going to tell you about a
I have
surprising
done
issue that
both at
some
once.
music festival attendees this summer will be facing. Pick the one who's...
What were you saying?
Sun poisoning.
Sun poisoning and alcohol
Sun
stroke.
poisoning.
I have done all four. When I was in my early 20s living in Ithaca, they had a festival season, summer music festival season, and the town would kind of empty out into the summer music festivals. And I was not good at caring for my body at that point in time. So I would do things like drink a 12 to 15 second shot of Captain Morgan's rum straight from the bottle. Or stay outside in direct sunlight for 10 plus hours without sunscreen or water.
Ooh.
Yeah, I am sure I have melanoma somewhere. Somewhere on this body, I got some melanoma. I did not get out of this skin cancer free. I wrecked myself. And it was a bit
Check
easy.
yourself first.
No, I didn't check myself. That's why I wrecked myself. I did at some point start putting water into my body. I guess after about 8 months, after about a year of, I guess it was by the third festival season, I was starting to take care of my body a lot more. And it's weird. It kind of stuck with me after that, which is probably the only reason my body has survived this long, is because I actually take care of it. I know it doesn't seem like it right now, but I do. So yeah.
The truth, and you'll win our prize, the weight waiter of your choice on your voicemail. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. First, let's hear from Hari Kondabolu.
Prior to this year's Download Music Festival in Leicestershire, England, local police put out a statement asking fans not to wear smartwatches. The problem? Last year, people moshing while wearing smartwatches triggered the watch's collision detectors, which sent out automated emergency 999 calls. 999 is the UK version of 911 because they are less creative than we are. In a Facebook post, the police said their resources were strained because, quote, all those calls had to be assessed to ensure there is no threat, risk, or harm. Little did they know moshing means there is lots of threat, risk, and harm, but by choice. This request not to wear smartwatches was particularly aimed at fans of festival headliners and new metal pioneers, Korn, who are known for their intense mosh pits. Weezer is also playing at the festival, but this is less of a concern considering mosh pits at a Weezer concert are just nerds bumping into each other and apologizing.
People going to the Download Festival in the UK being told to take off their smartwatches. Your next
That shot at
story of
Weezer
Music
kinda
Festival
hurt.
Michigas comes from Rachel Koster.
Watch out for flying balls, says Founders Entertainment after a recent craze took over Govball, a New York City music festival in June. Bored with nothing to do while their girlfriends screamed about hating their exes at the Olivia Rodrigo concert, groups of young men gathered to practice their three-point shoots. We couldn't bring in real hoops, said a very drunk Kyle Randall. So we made short Nick sit on tall Austin's shoulders, and we paid him $25 to put his arms out like a hoop while everyone took turns dunking. The noises from the game were heard throughout the concert. Videos of rowdy games have gone viral, and the risk is high that bored boyfriends are getting ready to ball out at festivals across the country. Security companies in charge of Lollapalooza, Riot Fest, and more have been warned to look out for deflated balls, tire pumps, and combinations of short and tall friends.
Bored men making basketball hoops while other bored guys literally dunk on them. Your last story of a concert concern comes from Jeff Hiller.
For the past 26 years, the Peanut Music Festival has celebrated the gift of folk music in the town of Nacogdoches, Texas. The festival attracts as many as 4,000 people, and as the saying goes, 4,000 people is 4,000 butts. But this year, all those butts are posing a problem. Supply chains have greatly affected businesses everywhere, and Big Porta Potty is no exception. Chemicals used in the blue-dyed biocides in portable toilets have become so expensive that the Peanut Festival can no longer afford to rent the public utilities. The festival sent an email to ticket holders informing them that there would be no access to privies, johns, or turlets. They included a map of the nearby wooded areas for, quote, number ones, and encouraged attendees to adopt a low-fiber diet in the days before the festival. That's a hard ask for the folk music crowd, where the average person is 90% sprouts. Festival spokesperson Tim Dolman commented, "People say this is extreme, but come on, this is something literally a baby can do."
All right. So if you're getting ready to go to a music festival this summer, you have to be on the...
I want A to be true, but I know what this show is like.
You think they're going for the poop joke?
I think they're going for the poop joke. I can come up with holes for the story, like several holes in the story that make it so much less likely.
Yes.
Such as they would just increase the cost of the tickets. You can't throw a festival and not have these amenities.
Yeah.
All of these things. But it's wait, don't tell me, and it's a poop joke.
Fair enough.
But I also think that that you're correct.
The
Peanut
right
Gallery.
one.
Yeah. But I'm going with C. I'm not changing my answer.
Out for what is it from Hari Kondabolu? Be careful about wearing your smartwatch in the mosh pit. From Rachel, be aware of bored guys forming basketball hoops, one short guy on top of a tall guy as their friends try to dunk. Or from Jeff Hiller, if you're going to the Peanut Music Festival in Texas, bring your own facilities. Which of these is the real story of a festival concern we found in the news?
I am going to go with Hari's story of the mosh pits triggering the smartwatches.
All right.
I mean, it's so...
audience seems to agree.
You know...
From the look of them, they've spent a lot of time in mosh pits, right, guys? Yes? All right, your choice then is Hari's story. Well, to bring you the real story, we spoke to a journalist very familiar with it.
The dynamic of a mosh pit is people running into each other full pelt. So I guess it kind of simulates the speed and sudden stop of a crash.
That was UK-based mosh pit documentarian Christopher Bethel talking about the smartwatch.
Were you saying something?
I said, wow, they didn't go for the joke, and Mosh Pit Documentarian that's a title.
That is. Although I get it. I get it. You know, there are people making documentaries about heavy metal bands. Other than Spinal Tap.
Going off at the Download Festival. Congratulations, you got it right. Hari was, in fact, telling the truth. You have won our prize, and Hari has earned a point. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And now the game we call Not My Job. Ibtihaj Mohammad took up fencing at the age of 13 and went on to become a 3-time All-American at Duke University before winning 5 consecutive world medals in 2016. She was named one of Time's most influential people and won a bronze medal at the Rio Olympics, where, among other things, she became the first American woman to compete and win in a hijab. She is now a sports ambassador and a best-selling author, and we hope moonlights as a pirate. Ibtihaj Mohammad, welcome to Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel like pirate would be fun, but I in my mind, I'm more of a bodyguard.
Really? You're one of those cool people who's like standing next to whoever the VIP is and nobody even...
I'm sorry, guys. Before we get into this segment, I need a bio break.
Okay. No worries.
Oh, fine.
The mosh pit really shook it out of you?
Yup. All right.
Potentially right.
Back in a few moments. Thank you for sticking with us through that. We are back. Again, I apologize for the suddenness of that. But here we are. So, We ready to get back to the game?
While you were getting rid of fluids, the others of us were getting more fluids.
Right on. Stay fluidated.
So,
you know,
a moment. Cat is currently warming the tea.
Sounds good. I gotta say, it is. I'm really slightly worried about how much I'm not holding on to water, not holding on to fluids. I'm ever so slightly worried about the fact that it's just continuing to move through me like that. Like,
flowing like a stream?
Constant. But you know what? That's what I get for being a streamer. Oh my God. Oh God, I am so sorry. Everybody at home, I am so sorry. There was no call for that joke.
Yes, there was. You thought of it, it must be said.
Oh, really though? I don't have to torture people anymore. I'm not a bad person. I don't have to share my torture anymore.
Yes, you do. Because if you don't, then I don't have an excuse.
Okay. I'm willing to continue to be a bad person with you. For the sake of comedy! Has you gotten hit with the pool noodle yet?
Not today. Plenty times yesterday, shortly after she bought it, but not today.
She had a whole bunch of stuff to catch up on.
Yes.
Spousal abuse, even if it's just with a pool noodle, is not acceptable. Just so y'all know, we're not endorsing spousal abuse, even if it is just with a pool noodle. But I sure am laughing at his. Like I said, man, I'll be a bad person here with you. For comedy!
Works for me. We're all here now.
We're all here now?
Well, we're never all here, but that's beside the point.
We are all physically in our listening space.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
And messes with you because you're so intimidating?
Really, I'm just like the fierce protector of my mom and my sisters.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I'm always interested in the origin stories of very elite athletes. You've said you were inspired to compete early by your older brother, who used to challenge you to do things and then beat you all the time. Is that true? At least early on, right?
Well, I'm the middle of 5 kids, and I have one brother, and we're only 18 months apart.
Oh, wow.
And I think naturally, when you grow up in a large family, things are just naturally competitive. Like we would, race each other in the pool. You want to get the last slice of pizza. Just small things like that where I feel like you're just in like small competition. And I do feel like having an older brother who used to bully me a little bit definitely brought out this fierce competitor from an early age.
Right, yeah. And just out of curiosity, has your brother ever won an Olympic medal in anything? Just checking.
I would love for him to hear that.
You were good at a lot of sports, but you gravitated to fencing. And how did that happen to be?
Happened to be driving past a high school in my hometown. I'm from Maplewood, New Jersey, in the car with my mom. And from the road, you could see fencers in the school cafeteria. And my mom was like, I don't know what it is, but they're covered, so I want you to do it. And,
oh, yeah.
Really? Wait a minute. She had no idea what they were doing. They were just wearing head-to-toe outfits with a mask. And you're like, that's for you.
We thought they were wearing helmets, so that's how little we knew about fencing at the time.
Well, they are.
But, you know, I was a kid who would eventually wear hijab, and I really struggled trying to find my space in different sports when I was just always out of uniform in a sense.
Yeah.
And when I started fencing, it just felt like home from the very beginning.
Right. And you picked up saber. Of the three weapons, it is by far the coolest. Am I correct?
Oh, the best, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the other weapons are.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares about that? There are those guys over there who are pointing knitting needles at each other for some reason. All these silly rules.
Snooze fest than the other weapon.
I was once very briefly a very bad fencer, and I've known some fencers, and invariably they are the most intense athletes I have ever met. Are you one of those fencers who I've seen many times who, after every successful point, just goes nuts, just like shouts and screams in victory? Or are you more of a quiet assassin type?
Not in my mind, I'm quiet assassin, but then I watch video and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was a blood-curdling cry there. Yeah. Oh wow.
Or like cute mountain lion. That's what I'm gonna.
Cute mountain lion. So they're like charmed as you like dice them up. I love it. Does that ever? Does that kind of competitiveness ever cross into the rest of your life?
You know, it's, I feel like I have like I don't know if it's like OCD, but I have this, everything has to be perfect, and I really struggle when things aren't exactly the way that they're supposed to be. Whether I'm, you know, fencing or, I don't know, mowing the lawn, whatever it is, I really need it to be perfect.
I understand. I just imagine you just mowing the lawn, and after every row,
I've gone really into this.
Really? Into the like lawn mowing?
It's weird. It's one of those weird things that's something no one would know about me, but my family, we recently just lost my dad, and I was like, I could pay someone to do it. No, I'll do it.
Right.
So I've gotten into like lawn mowing.
So you're like you're the first to get to the lawn, you're the last to leave the lawn.
I will say that my parents have the best lawn on the block.
I imagine. You've earned many medals and other honors, but one of the most impressive to me is that you were one of the women immortalized as a Barbie. I'm imagining, I have to assume you have a Barbie of yourself somewhere, right?
Oh man, I have so many of them. Like, I was like, what if I was
too.
like, if I have a bunch of kids and my sisters have a bunch of kids, then we need like 100 Barbies.
Yes.
What?
She has the entire Barbie fencing team.
Exactly.
I hope so.
Exactly. I want a Barbie.
See, one thing I'm not understanding is, okay, she's a saber fencer who loves to mow the lawn. Please tell me she's not combining the two.
Lawnmower jousting with sabers.
Just going all Link from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Tall grass!
Yeah. Ooh, money.
It's something my brother was known to do. A weirdo.
I certainly have overgrown bits of my yard that I could be taking my swords to cut down instead of the lawnmower. Granted, the parts that aren't quite high enough for attacking with swords really do kind of need the lawnmower. Like anything basically below calf height, because I can get a level cut at close to ground height when going for legs, but if I'm going for anything really below calf height, and I'm trying to do it 2 swords and over again, it's really exhausting. Lawn maintenance with bladed weaponry. Although, man, okay, a brush hook is an amazing bush axe. Yeah, that thing is an amazing bit of training for how to use a pole arm. Dude, you can really teach yourself pole arm use with one of those. Especially because they don't come with a long haft. So you're learning short hafted pole arm stuff where, like, if you lengthen the haft and you realize when you get a longer haft pole arm, it's a lot easier to do these movements. Not saying that I've trained myself in pole arm use on, standard farm equipment. But then again, I have kind of trained myself on pole arm use on standard farm equipment.
Well, considering a good number of weapons are really just advanced farm tools.
Basically. No reason not to learn it while I have it in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Highlander lawn care or Highlander yard care. There can be only lawn.
There can be only lawn.
Take note of that.
Although, I hate that because I hate Louis XIV and I actually hate lawns. The idea of a lawn bothers me. An area.
Wildflowers and stuff.
Right. Yard is fine, but any portion of yard that is specifically dedicated to growing only grass because you're rich enough to not need to grow food there feels offensive. So, like this, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm tickled to see in a whole bunch of various places where I read posts, people also being fed up with overwatered, high maintenance lawns, digging into what their local rules are, and starting to plant larger portions of their yard as wildflower / bee and butterfly sanctuaries.
Oh, yeah. A large portion of Trilhala's yard, both front and back, are dedicated to pollinators. She's actively dedicated large portions of her land, like a large percentage of her land, to pollinator sanctuaries.
Unlike cities, which are designated for pollinators.
Right? I feel pretty good about myself on that large, that most of my land is dedicated to carbon dioxide recovery, reclamation and capture, which is part of why it's like a freaking jungle in most of my yard. I barely have open space for the baby and Jen to play outside. There is space out there for them, but most of it is overgrown. And I'm okay with that. All right, back to the show.
And the people from Mattel were like, I'm sorry, excuse me? Well, Ibtihaj Mohammad, it is a particular pleasure to talk to you, and we have asked you here to play a game we're calling
Take a Stab at This.
Okay.
You used to stab people professionally, so we thought we'd ask you
That's
about other people
not
taking a
much
stab at
stabbing
something
with
that is
saber.
trying something for the first time. Answer 2 out of 3 questions correctly, you'll win our prize for one of our listeners. Bill, who is Ibtihaj Mohammad playing for?
Sean Pratt of Madison, Wisconsin.
All right. Ready to go?
I got this, Sean.
Here you go. Here's your first question. In 2019, a woman in Turkey took a stab at flying for the very first time. It didn't go great, though, because shortly after she got to the airport, she did what? A, sat down on the luggage conveyor belt, thinking it would take her to the plane. B, got onto the plane and sat down in the first empty seat she saw, the co-pilot's. Or C, drank an entire bottle of vodka in the security line when she was told she couldn't bring it on board.
C.
Well, first of all, she's crazy. That we know.
Assume.
Got on the conveyor belt.
Either she got on the conveyor belt,
cockpit.
take her to the. She sat in the co-pilot seat, or she drank an entire fifth or whatever of vodka because she couldn't bring it on.
I'm so stressed out for her. I'm gonna go with C.
You're gonna go with C.
I'm gonna go with
a little
B.
strange, but okay. I'm afraid you all were wrong. You should feel terrible about yourself. It was actually, I'm speaking to them. It was A. This is what happened. Think about it. She's never been there before. She goes to the airport. She checks her bag. They take the bag. They turn around. They put it on that conveyor belt that takes it behind the scenes to the plane. She goes, great, thank you. She climbs over, gets on it herself. Whee!
Why not?
All right, you still have 2 more chances. Here we go. Okay. All right, here's your next question. At 18 years old, Brendan Shanahan decided to try professional hockey, and one of the first things he did was get in a fist fight against fellow hockey player Rick Vave. Why? Was it A, he'd heard of the first thing you're supposed to do in a hockey game is find the biggest guy on the rink and punch him in the nose? B, because Rick Vave had just broken up with his older sister, or C, because 4 years earlier he had asked Vave for an autograph and Vave had refused.
I want C to be true. But I think it's B. C.
C.
It was C. Yeah. He had asked Vave for an autograph. Vave says, get away from me, kid. And the next thing you know, it's 5 years later, they're on a rink somewhere, and he gets punched in the face. All right.
That C sounded so aggressive. I feel like I had to say C.
I know. I don't know what they would have done if you hadn't chosen that, so you were wise. All right. One more question. If you get this right, you win.
You got to respect his commitment to it. I mean, you really got to respect his commitment to getting even at that point.
Yeah.
May have just been a sheer
coincidence.
Oh, come on. Not coincidence. Happenstance. It happened to be there, so he took the chance.
Yes.
Not something he went out of his way for.
That's true. He may have already been on his way to being a hockey player.
Yeah.
And, you know, he may have been a good enough hockey player that he was going to be on this dude's level soon. But I also like the thought that dude was like, oh yeah? You're going to be a dick? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn how to do your job, and I'm going to get good enough to show up at your job and punch you in the face. I mean, you know?
Best thing is, it's the type of job that you can actually get away with it.
Right? What's the worst you get? 5 for fighting? Go sit in a box? Oh, go to timeout for punching a guy. I really...
You punch the guy, now go act like a cat.
Right. I really feel like their punishment system does not fit their violence system. And yet somehow I feel like it kind of works. It's like, all right, be violent. They'll be violent back to
wait.
you.
I want you to think on this, though. You've got people with knives on their feet chasing after a little dot and crashing into each other and then deciding to get pissy with each other and fight and dropped in individual boxes. Hockey is just a game of humans pretending to be cats entirely.
I mean, yes. Yes. But on
Does the violence and the punishment absolutely fit?
Well, yes. But on a more micro level, on a more human and micro level, when you look at from a behavioralist point of view, what the lesson that is being taught there is.
Use your words, not your hands.
Except it's not. That's not being taught there because they're still being rewarded for using their hands. The punishment is so much smaller than the reward. You know? Like there is a whole position on the team for getting in fights. The goon. And the goon gets paid, gets monetarily rewarded to use his hands, not his words. So somehow it feels like the putting them in timeout is more of a way of saying, see there, we're punishing them because we know violence is wrong, but we're accepting that this violence is part of this society. We accept the violent society. We still pay lip service to not wanting violent society by punishing it, by putting people in a 5-minute timeout. And if you notice, a lot of times, hockey players are pretty cool with each other, like off the ice. You know, very rarely is a grudge on the ice taken off the ice.
Mm.
Whereas grudges from off the ice can be brought onto the ice, handled, and left on the ice.
Mm.
So you got it out of your system.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say that as far as their time limits go, they're doing timeout wrong because it's supposed to be 1 minute for every year of age.
Wow, that would make hockey games really long.
It would make them really hilarious if someone sits there and has to look up everybody's age as they go in the box.
Oh my god. Dude, I did not need to know this. I think I might have been okay going through the rest of my life not knowing that timeout was supposed to be 1 minute for every year of age.
Or for people that still practice timeout, which, as far as early childhood education goes, that's not best practice anymore. But
before we get on to what is best practice, let me say why this is so astounding to me.
Yeah.
I was regularly in timeout for 30 minutes to 2 hours.
Yep.
Regularly. I spent so much of my early childhood in timeout that I thought that play was something other kids got to do.
A lot of us did. Go put your nose in the corner and you stay there until I tell you you can come out.
So, what is best practices now?
Best practices now is a combination of redirection and effectively, if you are moving a child out of a situation, then you are to stay with that child so they are not abandoned. And it's a case of monitoring. It's like, okay, you've calmed down. We're able to sort out whatever issues going on. You're able to be distracted into something else safely. Whatever. It's basically a mixture of things.
But don't
For those that
abandon
are
the kid.
right. The goal is we are working on retraining your behavior. We're not trying to give you the message of you have done something so egregious at the age of 3 that you are unworthy to be in our presence or anyone else's presence for the next 30 minutes and you're hated. Because that's generally the message that gets passed along to a 3-year-old.
I mean, yeah, that's I was pretty sure I was morally failed.
Mm-hmm. For those that do practice timeout, the best practice for using it is you explain why they are there, and you limit it to 1 minute for every year of age.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like when you're explaining why they're there, you're explaining that it's punishment, that it's incarceration.
Less that and more case of I need you to calm down. You cannot return over here until you are calm. I'm giving you 5 minutes to calm down.
Okay, see,
you've got a book, you've got a this, you've got a that, and you are walking away. You're giving them the space to calm down and walking away. But you're not setting them in a corner. You're not sticking them in the special timeout chair that a lot of places had. You're not putting them on the stool with the hat like some places have had.
Oh God, yeah.
Ooh, don't cap.
Yeah. If you're still going to do it, that's kind of your best practice. Is you're explaining less about the fact that you hit Johnny and that's wrong, and more a case of you are not using your body correctly. It needs a moment to calm down. I'm giving you that time to calm down by yourself.
Okay.
I'm setting a timer. The timer rings. We're going to come back and try again.
Okay. That's yeah.
Yeah. No. Worst practice is the whole.
You know what?
We'll go stand in the corner and you're stupid.
I've been informed that this is not that I'm not gonna be taking part in this for Baby Z.
No.
Jen has said she is taking on the full responsibility of disciplinarian with him. Partially because I think she would immediately throw hands if anybody else even spoke to him too harshly. Like, even remotely got disciplinarian with him, she would be like, no. And she knows disciplinarian is needed. She knows discipline is needed so that a child has boundaries, knows what boundaries are, knows what they're, what's not safe, basically. What's not safe to do.
When you get the chance, I want you to go look up a YouTube creator who goes by the name of Mama Cusses.
Mama Cousins?
Cusses.
Cusses. Yes.
Okay, Mama Cusses.
Go look her up.
Why, yes, she do.
She's got a really, really good video series on gentle parenting. And she helps a lot for people that are not not professional educators, giving them some of the words that they need and giving you the breakdown that discipline and disciplinarian are not the same thing.
True. That is a very valid point.
And she gives you ways to go about setting boundaries without being extremely harsh, without overreacting, without a lot of the things that anybody that's Gen X or millennial grew up dealing with.
You know, I think one huge advantage that we have here is that neither of us have anything better to do. And I don't mean better to do, but like neither of us have jobs. Neither of us have to work specifically to support, to feed and clothe and support the child.
Right.
So we can take the time to be with the child while he's upset. Mm-hmm. We can take the time to sit there and explain what's going on. And I think I definitely want to make use of this privilege. I don't have.
You can do it.
Huh?
But as long as you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, he's going to be old enough where he has to go to kindergarten.
Yep.
So you don't have too many more years before that happens.
And I am very much doing that. Putting in the time now, at least as much as I can. Yeah, I also need to remember that, I'm not a direct parent. I'm a grandparent. I'm a granny.
Right. I'm
not mom or dad. I'm certainly not dad. So it's, there are, as much as I want to be there with him all the time, the whole way through, just, I need to respect that there kind of needs to be a level of remove. I mean, for instance, they're not going to be living with me forever. They're not going to be, I don't know how much longer before they move out, but they are going to leave at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably within the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, now, of course, after that, I can still go visit, go be there, go be with him. But I won't be in the same house.
Right.
I won't be, and he can still come visit me, come be here with me. But again, it won't be living in the same house. Both of them will always have a room here or something like a room here, because I don't have 2 more rooms. I have 1 more room and the front porch. And all of the space that is now that is now hers and theirs will always be hers and theirs. It's not like, you know, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to find a way to house Brock while still having their space be theirs. But the idea is build a tiny house on the property for Brock. That, at least that's what he's asked for. So. And, you know, ultimately, all of this is the baby's anyway. It's just, he's not gonna have to take care of it for another, 18 years or so. And he turns 18 or 21, something like that. All right, buddy, here you go. Here's everything. No, I would never do that to him. It would be impossible for him to take care of it. But, when he gets to be about 18 or so, decisions about what, probably when he gets to be about 16, decisions about what I do with this place are going to start being like, what do you think, buddy? What's your opinion?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because it's his anyway. Would you believe I've never even taken a single parenting class? That's not true, Trevor. You took 40 plus years of how not to do it.
There you go.
People should not be alone for the first time when they try getting high, like one woman who started texting all her friends about what? A, how crate and barrel should be called barrel and crate. B, how really good it feels to put a wet Q-tip up your nose. C, about how sorry she was for thinking mean things about all of them, which she proceeded to list.
Oh. C! Oh my God! C!
I see it
So
here. B.
C.
Does the panel have anything to say?
Yes, B. I just heard it in my
All right, let's go with B, and we'll send Sean home with some.
You're right, it's B.
Oh, God.
But I also could have guessed in real life.
Yeah,
it does feel good to do that.
Bill, how did Ibtihaj do on our quiz?
He is a perfectionist, so she got 2 out of 3, which is a win.
Congratulations, one more for your trophy case. What a thrill to talk to you. Ibtihaj Mohammad is a retired U.S. Olympic fencer, the founder of Luella by Ibtihaj, and the author of 3 best-selling children's books. More info about all the things that she does can be found at ibtihajmohammad.com. Ibtihaj Mohammad, what a joy to talk to you. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on everything you've done, and we'll look for even more. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. NPR.
This message comes from
In just.com, Ibtihaj Mohammad, what a joy to talk to you. Our scene since
you're looking to buy your download the
Sorry about
Redfin
that,
app
everybody.
and starts is booming. Restrictions apply. Helps learners like you.
From NPR and WWDTM Chicago, this is Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We are playing this week with Rachel Coster, Jeff Hiller, and Hari Kondabolu. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
I sound so mysterious all of a sudden. In just a minute, like limericks, you haven't come to the right place. You've come to the only place. If you'd like to play the Listener Limerick Challenge, give us a call at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Now it's time for a game we call
The Trump Dump.
Oh, boy.
New poll edition.
I love this one.
As nothing of any significance is happening in the world right now, this week, the president held an elaborate public ceremony to show off 2 88-foot-tall flagpoles he's had installed at the White House. So we're going to ask you some questions about this monumental event, rapid fire, true, false, right? For each right answer, you get a point. Ready to go? Here we go. Hurry, true or false? On Tuesday, President Trump said, quote, "These are the most magnificent poles ever made."
True.
God, it's true.
Right. Rachel, true or false? He then praised the poles for being tall.
True.
Yes. Jeff, true or false? On Wednesday, he told reporters, quote, "These are the best poles anywhere in the country or the world."
Oh my God, it's true.
Yes. Hurry, true or false? As workers installed the flagpoles, he said, quote, "It's such a beautiful pole."
It's true.
Yes.
It's true, Pete.
Rachel, true or false? He watched construction workers install the poles for almost an entire hour.
True.
Yes. Jeff, true or false? The placement of the new poles makes it possible for the presidential helicopter to land on its normal location.
False.
Exactly right. The poles make it impossible for Marine One, the presidential helicopter, to land in its normal location on the White House lawn. No one knows where they are now going to land that helicopter. But that's okay, because we have 2 great poles.
Oh, they're beautiful.
The best in the world.
Beautiful poles.
Most beautiful ever. And they're the
Thanks for
tallest, too.
playing
They're
the
tall.
Trump Dump
Oh,
Super
they're
Poll
perfectly
Edition.
tall.
Right now, panel, some more
Wow.
questions for you from the week's news. Hurry, a corporate exec writing to the New York Times business advice column, said that a job candidate recently brought his what to a job interview?
Snake.
No?
Child.
Yes, actually,
What?
but not just his entire family.
It's not.
A hiring manager was shocked when a potential employee brought, quote, their spouse and several children to a job interview. Imagine looking to hire someone and walking into the conference room and seeing 12 family members, all wearing matching T-shirts saying, "Gerald's 30th job interview."
I mean, if you were to say, "I really need this job,"
Yeah. I guess
family.
I guess having your family there could help you with some of the questions, like when you're asked what your biggest weakness is, you can just point at your worst child.
Oh my God, that
I
hurt.
mean, if I were the interviewer, I would do it. I would
We're
feel
family
guilty.
here.
You really?
Yeah.
What?
When employers say we're family here,
You sure?
I would
Because this is my family.
I would think that in some of those questions, you would not want your family there because they might answer.
See, only if you're bad at family. Update, we have now covered relationship advice, actually liking who you are married to, being against partner abuse, even with pool noodles. Hockey is humans playing full-on cats, proper length of time for a timeout in hockey, best practices regarding timeouts in education, and parenting suggestions / plans. Wow.
Did you see the one previous to that I put up?
Oh gosh. Welcome to this derailed episode of Wait, Don't Tell Me, now including potential D&D campaigns, inanimate objects slowly gaining life in a bag of holding, favorite styles of fencing, proper size boards for fencing, and orcs' familial relationships to goblins.
That's why it's an update.
That works. Wow, we have covered an insane amount of ground.
Insane is correct.
yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Today's pre-rolls.
Sorry.
Smooth. Today's pre-rolls brought to you by the Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, on the Downtown Mall, 105 West Main Street, above the Brick Suite 200. Great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds. Bud? And the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my biased research. Don't forget to check the website for times and events. The website is thehiddenleafcville.com. That's thehiddenleaf, CVILLE, all one word, .com. A note of disclosure, we are silly and opinionated. Our sponsors are not necessarily opinionated. Any opinions you hear expressed herein belong...
Silly.
Huh? What?
They are silly and opinionated. Our sponsors are not opinionated, but apparently silly.
I am not gonna say they're not. Firehouse makes products that they 3D print products that just to go along with what they're with the other stuff that they sell, like the little spray can that I have over here, or let's see if I have it here. Here it is. This little cooler for transporting rosins.
Mm-hmm. That's cute.
They have one product that I won't be getting because I would be tempted to use it and have it on stream, and it is not the kind of product that they really want you to have on stream or on YouTube. And it occurred to me that it looks way too much like an actual gun, even though the entire thing is orange. It's just the real right shape. But it's a lighter. It's the right shape, right size for a gun, and then there's a lighter stack sticking out the end. You pull the trigger and a little flame. It is so cool. It is so fun. It is so not what I want on my Twitch or YouTube channel.
Fair enough.
And I mean, also, we have a rule in this house about no toy guns.
Fair.
Because guns are not toys.
Very fair.
The only gun in this house that we have that's not a real gun is a prop. It is a prop gun. Actually, I have two. I have an old cap gun that is also usable as a prop for whatever, but I have a Nerf gun that I painted and and did fun stuff too, and to make it a prop for being a sci-fi gun, for videos and stuff. And a prop gun is different from a toy gun. Is also should be treated.
Prop.
And prop guns should be treated with the exact same respect you treat a real gun, even if it is a ridiculous prop gun.
Yes.
Because we've seen what happens when that is not done.
Yes. Yes, we have.
Alec Baldwin has no career and will not have a career for a very long time.
I was just about to ask what you were talking about because I was a little rusty on the details.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Because the movie was Rust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was good. And then also Brandon Lee is not had a career since most of the way through The Crow.
Yep.
Oh, Trevor, that was a bad way of putting it.
Yes,
Dude, shots fired.
That's worse. That's worse.
Too soon? Yes. Only because we all actually liked Brandon Lee. Like, I'd say you'd have a hard time finding someone who didn't like him.
Yeah.
Honestly, not familiar with his body of work outside of that one movie.
There were a couple of holes in it, but otherwise, it was pretty solid.
I set you up for that one, sorry.
You really did. Oh, God. I don't think he had much other stuff that he did. I think The Crow was his debut.
This is where we need Darth for this one.
I think so. But that's okay. What's the last thing Courtney Love said to Kurt Cobain?
What?
Hole's gonna be real big.
Let's see.
So, question. Actually related to the show / game.
Okay.
Are we counting the points for the
Trump dump?
Trump?
Yes.
Okay, how many questions were there? I know I got them all right, but I wasn't keeping track of them.
1, 2, 3.
6. 6,
Yeah.
I think.
I think it was 6 of them. I missed 2 of them.
All right.
No,
so
it was more than 6. It was more than 6.
No, 7. It was 7.
Yeah. It was 7.
So, because something was said, I had to look it up. He actually did have other things he had done before The Crow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What else had he done?
Rapid Fire, Showdown in Little Tokyo, Laser Mission, O'Hara, Crime Killer. He was part of the CBS Summer Playhouse, Legacy of Rage, and Kung Fu the Movie.
Huh.
And then he was credited in something after The Crow. I guess they used stock footage or something.
Yeah, used footage of him. Maybe they had footage of him from previous. Maybe they were mostly done shooting before he started The Crow.
No. I mean, this movie or this thing came out in 2000, which was like 7 years afterwards.
It's yeah. I mean, it like.
Sex, lies, and video violence, and he's listed as being man in line to nightclub. So I'm wondering if maybe
they
just
probably
did a
they shot that. They might have shot that early on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might have shot that early on. I don't know. I'd have to see it to really know.
But yeah, he actually did have some things that he had done beforehand.
Okay. So it was a solid body of work.
Yeah, sure.
All right, back to the show before I say something even worse. I'm not sure what I could say worse, but
we can find it.
We'll find it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we will. Oh, wait. Did you know that Courtney Love tried to sell their house?
No.
She had a hard time. One of the rooms still smelled like Teen Spirit.
Makes sense.
Told you I could get worse.
That scent kind of lingers.
All right, let's keep going. Before I start taking shots at Eddie Vedder.
Mm-hmm.
I've got hungry mouths, not just at home, but also right here to feed. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, take my money.
Yeah, you're hired.
Yeah.
All of you are hired.
Yes.
Because you're a good person.
Yes, and I also believe in child labor.
Have you guys actually had the classic job interview where you've dressed up and gone in and chatted with somebody?
Yes.
Yeah.
One time I had a job interview and the woman pulled up my Twitter because it was a PR company, and whatever my last tweet was about was like something about farting or something, and I didn't get the job. I think it was also like some political stuff that she disagreed with, which honestly I stand by what I said.
I'm just going to point out, you don't know what she said.
That could be crazy. I was like, everyone should get a gun.
Coming up, it's Lightning Fill in the Blank, but first it's the game where you have to listen for the rhyme. If you'd like to play on air, call or leave a message at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. You can come down and see us here most weeks at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, or catch us on the road this summer. We'll be in Salt Lake City, July 31st, and at Tanglewood in Western Massachusetts on August 28th. Woo indeed. Woo indeed, my friend. For tickets and information to all of our live shows, go to nprpresents.org. And if that's somehow still not enough of us, well, find us on TikTok. We're at Wait NPR. Hi, you're on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, everybody. This is Nina from Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey.
Oh, at the Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah.
That's great. What do you do there?
I am the Director of Outreach for the Barnegat Bay Partnership, which is one of 28 national estuary programs in the country designated to restore, educate, and protect about estuaries of national significance.
Wow. Okay. That was the most well-practiced answer I've ever gotten. I'm very impressed. I have no more questions. You pass. Thank you. Go on your way. Well, welcome to the show, Nina. Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 news-related limericks with the last word or phrase missing from each. If you can fill in that last word or phrase correctly on just 2 of the limericks, you'll be a winner. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let us do it. Here is your first limerick.
The receiver's good. You'll understand fine. It's no smartphone, but better than hand signs. When you type with your thumbs, you get stressed out and dumb. So instead, we're installing a landline.
Landline, yes. Parents of preteen kids who are worried about the downside of smartphones but still want their children to be able to talk to their friends have found an innovative solution. It's a remarkable kind of telephone that supports voice-to-voice communication, and even better, it's chained to the wall so they can't go anywhere. The kids don't know how much they are going to love actually talking on the telephone, because it's kind of unsatisfying to go, you stop texting first. No, you stop texting first. No, you stop texting first.
I just had like a million flashbacks of my parents picking up the phone, or my dad like reprimanding who was on the other end. Like, you say please when you want to speak to my son. I just...
Wow.
I don't know if I want to... Well, actually, no, I wouldn't be reliving it. I'd be the father.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm into this idea.
All right, here is your next limerick.
When the world starts to make a big racket, I zip up in a snug, puffy packet. Soft sounds from my hood make my REM cycle good. I nap well with the help of this
Jacket, yes, it may look like a normal giant puffer coat, but it is the ZZZN sleep apparel system. A jacket designed to help you go to sleep anywhere you happen to be. And no, it is not just a normal parka with all the pockets filled with Ambien. So this high-tech sleep system has built-in audio and lighting to lull you to sleep. Still awake? No worries. Call customer support, and the company will send someone over to knock you out the old-fashioned way.
It looks like a jacket.
Yes.
And it keeps you warm the way a jacket would.
It does, yes.
But it has lots of wires in it.
It does.
I don't know about all this.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it does help you sleep by creating a very quiet environment, because the moment you put it on, everyone stays 20 feet away from you. Like you're in a sweat cocoon. All right, here is your last limerick.
In hot drizzle, you rinse for an hour, so your bladder walls weaken their power. Before grabbing soap, use the toilet, you dope.
Shower.
It's unhealthy to pee in the
Shower.
Right, that's right. I'm sorry to tell you, experts say the thing that 40% of people admit to doing and 100% of people actually do, right, is bad for your bladder health. Doctors say that peeing in the shower eventually trains your bladder to just automatically empty when you hear the sound of spraying water. Now, you might think that's ridiculous, right? No, couldn't be the case. But then you're at the hair salon, and the stylist says, lean back over the sink so we can wash your hair, and all of a sudden, you have to double the tip.
What do you do when you have to go and you're in the shower? You're supposed to aim it at the toilet from the
Turn off the water, hear silence.
Yeah.
And then turn it back on once you've gone, I suppose.
That's ridiculous.
I was worried it was going to be something about standing up, but no, it's just Pavlovian.
Yeah. Remember, we're training your bladder, and you don't want to do that. But on the other hand, what if you train your bladder to shake and roll over and maybe fetch? Bill, how did Nina do in our quiz?
Oh, she got them all right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take care, and thanks for playing.
All right, thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What was that?
I have questions about this study.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming at it like this is brand new information, and it's not.
Okay.
It has been extremely common for potty training children for decades. Either you make the noise, or when they're sitting there, you turn on the bathroom sink so that the water makes them go potty.
Right.
So this is not new. How are they just now discovering a potty training technique?
No, they're saying that the technique is, I guess, bad form.
Bad for adults is what they're saying. This using this method of continued behavioral reinforcement is bad for adults, because it means anywhere we hear running water, we have to go potty. On the other hand, I'd like to point out that it is generally understood that hearing water, running water, makes you have to go potty, even if that was not used as a training method when you were a child.
Exactly.
The sound of running water is just suggestive, and I'm sorry, but, it works. So we're going to get back to the show so that we can finish the show before power of suggestion makes me have to go potty again.
Okay.
This may be the new, a new normal for me. I hope not, but I'd like to believe that I'm not going to need to potty every 20 minutes from here on out.
I think that once you get re-regulated and everything is actually rehydrated like it should be, you'll get a balance out. But
I hope so.
you've been running at less than optimal hydration for long enough that it's like having a battery that has never been completely drained and charged properly. So it hits that level that it's used to being stopped at, and it won't accept more until you do the whole cycle correctly a couple times.
Here's hoping it figures itself out. It's going to make going on long road trips really long. Not going to stop me from doing it. It's just going to make them a lot longer.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the show.
Mm-hmm.
This message comes from Bombas. This message comes from
NPR sponsor.
Now on to our final game, Lightning Fill in the Blank. Each of our players has 60 seconds in which to answer as many fill in the blank questions as they can. Each correct answer now worth 2 points. Bill, can you give us the scores?
Hari has 5. Rachel and Jeff each have 4.
All right, Hari has 5. Okay. Rachel and Jeff are tied for second. And you guys are going to go first. I'm going to arbitrarily pick Rachel. Here we go. The clock will start when I begin your first question. Fill in the blank. On Wednesday, Israel launched an airstrike against a nuclear facility in blank.
Iran.
In Iran, yeah. And Monday, the Supreme Court upheld Tennessee's ban on blank, affirming care for trans youth.
Gender
affirming care, right. This week, NASA said that a giant asteroid has a chance of hitting the blank in 2032.
Earth.
No, sadly, the moon.
Okay.
This week, a
I
monkey
need
in
to start saving.
This week, a monkey in Hong Kong was caught on camera destroying blank.
Cameras.
No, destroying a sign warning people not to feed the monkeys. On Tuesday, the Senate passed an act aimed at regulating Bitcoin and other blanks.
Crypto.
Right, cryptocurrencies. According to a new lawsuit, weight loss drugs like blank are causing vision loss.
Wegovy.
Yes, and Ozempic. This week, the head of a waste management company in Sweden, once called the Queen of Trash, is headed to prison because she took the trash she was in charge of disposing and blanked.
Burned it?
Sold it.
No, she just left giant piles of it all over Sweden.
Bad girl.
Bad girl. On Tuesday, Fariba Vancour, who called herself the Queen of Trash, was convicted on 19 counts of environmental crimes. Prosecutors called her waste management business a pyramid scheme, and they're...
What were you saying?
I think neither one of us said anything.
Okay.
And they're right in that the giant trash piles she left all over Sweden were kind of pyramid-shaped. Bill, how did Rachel do in our quiz?
4 right. 8 more points. Total of 12. Rachel, you did well. You're in first place.
All right. Jeff.
Oh, gosh.
Jeff, you're up next. Here we go. Fill in the blank.
Okay.
According to a new report, by 2034, blank will not be able to pay out full monthly benefits.
Social Security.
Right. During a routine test, another one of blank's rockets exploded on the launch pad.
North Korea?
Right. This week, Brad Lander, city comptroller and one of the mayoral candidates in blank, was arrested by ICE.
New York.
Oh, true?
No, in the I'm looking for blank. Name of the city.
New York.
New York?
Right. On Tuesday, over 200 people waiting for aid in blank were injured by Israeli fire.
Palestine?
Gaza, yeah. This week, a game of disc golf in South Carolina was interrupted when blank fell from the sky and onto the course.
Hail?
An asteroid?
No. A shark.
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me.
On Tuesday, the owner of the LA Dodgers agreed to buy majority ownership of the LA Blanks for $10 billion.
Lakers?
Yes, the Lakers.
Oh.
According to a new study, regularly smoking blank may be worse for your heart than cocaine.
Weed?
Marijuana?
Marijuana, right. This week, a man in Texas was shocked to discover that his ex had secretly blanked after they broke up.
Died.
No, had secretly married him after they broke up. According to police, the woman somehow convinced a pastor to certify a wedding certificate without the man being there, which she then filed with the county clerk. So they're married. The man only found out about it because his wife mailed him a copy of the marriage certificate along with, this is true, a gift bag from Bath and Body Works.
Insult to injury.
I know. Bill.
Being charged with fraud.
I mean, yeah, that's what that is. But like, I know this is unhealthy, but I think I might actually find that charming. I think that might actually convince me to give someone a second chance. That's very unhealthy of me, though. Like, that's something toxic within, just so we're aware.
Yeah.
That also depends on the circumstances of the breakup in the first place. Like, if you were breaking up because, oh, this person is too clingy and does not want to give me any breathing space, and then you find that out,
I know, but see, like...
But if you felt that you were falling apart, distancing or something like that, and you find that, and she's like, okay, they've got a lot more commitment to this than I thought.
Or like, or she dumped me for, I don't know. But like, if she dumped me and then she went and did that, be like, maybe she didn't really mean to dump me. You know?
I can see the argument for it. I can see.
But also, this is like I know that some of this is because I am a damaged individual inside, and like want someone to pay that level of attention to me.
I get that.
Understanding that it's not healthy. It's not healthy even if the circumstances were the best of circumstances. It's not healthy. Like, that's not healthy way to do a relationship at all.
Especially because if I remember correctly, they have been technically married in this fashion for a while, and he only just found out about it.
Oh jeez and crackers.
But he hasn't had a lot of contact with her since they broke up, and it's been like, I want to say like close to a year.
Oh, so the gift basket was an anniversary gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started to put that story in the chat yesterday for us to read.
Oh gosh. I'm surprised you didn't find the shark on the golf course.
So am I. I'm wondering how I missed the shark.
Like that.
You just jumped it. Oh, noodle.
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
I was hitting the chair mostly. Go ahead and laugh.
Okay. I love that he went pool noodle.
I declared it with pride.
I thought you declared it with surprise, but heck. Pride.
No.
I knew it was coming.
Been saying things and kind of covertly looking over his shoulder every so often to see if I'm reaching for it yet.
So you're really trying to earn the pool noodle.
Not really. I just have gotten used to what might trigger it. But that doesn't stop me from saying it.
No, it doesn't. Please note, this is a long pool noodle. This thing is... It comes up to above my shoulder. So at least I can reach him from one side of the room.
I'd like to point out that violates rule of thumb by a lot. Rule of thumb, you can't do much damage with that. Should be more like rule of wrist. Okay, that is awful. That came from the opening scene of Boondock Saints, and I make no claim on that joke at all. It just runs through my head every time. Okay, what were you saying about rule of thumb?
It applies to a solid rod. A pool noodle does not exactly classify.
No. I will say one of the best things that you can do with kids that can actually move and run is go buy a couple of pool noodles and cut them in half and go have ninja fights.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as your rule is not in the head or face, you can beat each other all to bits and nobody's actually hurt, and it makes such a loud noise when it hits. You think that everybody's going to be black and blue, and then there's nothing.
But nope.
All the noise, all the loudness, all the exercise of running around and trying to murder each other, and it is glorious.
Bruises, kind of like soap in the sun.
No, that leaves a bruise.
No, you're thinking of Valencia oranges still in the sack. And delicious afterwards.
Tenderized.
Totally. I'm not gonna say that one was original either. In fact, I'm quite glad that joke is not original.
Yeah.
I am glad that I am not actually as sick in the head as Seth MacFarlane. I'm good with it. All right, back to it.
Okay.
Bill, how did Jeff do in our quiz?
Jeff, this is hard to believe for a newbie, but you got 6 right, 12 more points, 16 put you in the lead.
So, how many does Hari need to win?
6. Go for it, Hari.
Here we go. 6 to win. Here we go, Hari. This is for the game. On Thursday, President Trump once again delayed the ban on social media app blank.
TikTok.
Right.
TikTok.
This week, the National Weather Service warned of record-breaking temperatures as a blank dome covers the U.S.
Heat
dome. Yes, heat dome. On Monday, a recall order was placed on some brands of ready-to-eat fettuccine Alfredo linked to a blank outbreak.
E. coli?
Listeria. After multiple thefts of their street signs, residents of Blank Road in the UK are demanding police take action.
Bollocks?
Abby.
No, Daddy Hole Road.
Oh.
On Tuesday, the Florida Panthers won their second consecutive blank cup.
Stanley Cup.
Cheated.
Later on Tuesday, the Florida Panthers cracked and dented their blank cup.
Stanley.
Right. Following a number of dangerous incidents, a shopping center in the UK has imposed a speed limit on blank.
Shopping carts.
No, mobility scooters. After a shocking number of collisions and near misses, the Idlewell Shopping Center in the UK announced a 4-mile-an-hour speed limit on all mobility scooters. I can't wait until someone's caught speeding, tries to make a run for it, and a chase breaks out between a mobility scooter and a security guard doing a brisk walk. Bill, did Hari do well enough to win?
He got 4 right for 8 more points, total of 13. Jeff is the winner.
Oh, my goodness. First time's the charm.
Congratulations, Jeff.
You know, I'm the first one here, and I'm the last one to leave.
In just a minute, we're going to ask our panelists to predict what will be Jeff Bezos' favorite wedding present. But first, let me tell you, Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions' Doug Berman, Benevolent Overlord. Philip Goedeke writes our limericks. Our public address announcer is Paul Friedman. Our tour manager is Shayna Donald. Thanks to the staff and crew at the Studebaker Theater. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Jennifer Mills, Miles Dornbos, and Lillian King. Special thanks to Mohamed El Sheikhi and Monica Hickey. Peter Gwynn is our flagpole installer. Emma Choi is our vibe curator. Technical direction is from Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Shillog. And the executive producer of Wait, Don't Tell Me is Michael Danforth. Now, panel, what will be Jeff Bezos' favorite wedding present he gets next week? Hari Kondabolu.
A prenuptial agreement for his first marriage.
Rachel Coster.
He's going to get his first kiss.
Aww. And Jeff Hiller.
A space trip for the boys.
Well, if any
His
of that
first
happens,
actual
panel,
human
we'll ask you
contact.
about it on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you, Bill Curtis. Thanks also to Hari Kondabolu, Rachel Coster, and Jeff Hiller. And thanks to all of you for listening. I'm Peter Sagal. We'll see you next week. This is NPR.
Support for
32.
Right on. I got bad math. 11 plus 10 times 2 equals 30. No, Trevor, it doesn't. It equals 31. So here are the scores. Kat came in third place with 30. I came in second place with 31, and Peanut Gallery came in first place with 32.
I think I was scoring low on this one.
I think we all missed whiffed certain areas, just weren't prepared for it in certain places. And I think we also all had moments where we were on point. I think the Trump dump was really, we all hopped on that one pretty solidly.
Yeah.
And I think,
because I had 3 up until that point. That was it.
Right. Same here. Like, and I think it felt like we were scoring lower than we were because we started slow and then had a few problems in some of the multiple choice, or at least I did, but yeah, no, I think it just felt like we were scoring low. I think we expected less out of ourselves as well, and I think because we didn't expect it, we weren't paying as close attention to how well we were actually doing. Well, all right.
Okay.
After all of that, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for playing along. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
No worries.
Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Thank you, Chris into 386. And thank you, all you lurkers. Much love. Stick around for the raid. And now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.
She sewed my new blue jeans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time that he's satisfied is when he's on the run. Back down the road with me. You ready to face that one-armed bandit? Ready to go to that house they call the House of the Rising Sun? Come on, get ready to get on the train with me. Mother, tell your children not to do what I done and spend their lives in sin and misery in the